How do we set the OKRs for employees, and what are some things that we should keep in mind?
Right. So setting OKRs, I think measure what matters. That's very, very important. Don't measure things that doesn't matter. So you need to, again, whatever you do, the why is the most important thing. Why are you doing what you're doing is the first question you need to ask. And the moment you put that why in the hands of the person also, you will automatically see. So a lot of people keep speaking of ownership, people not taking ownership, junior folks not taking ownership. How will they take ownership when they don't know why they're doing what they're doing? Right? You tell them that you have to do this, but they don't know why they're doing. So obviously they'll just do it for the sake of doing it because you asked. They will never do it with the end goal in mind, and hence they will never improvise, they will never improve, they will never try to find better ways to do it, better hacks to do it. Or even, I mean, if you tell them the why, they can come up to you and say that your why is the worst thing that I've heard, here's a better why don't you do it because of this, or here's an alternate thing that you can do which will solve your why in a better manner. So I think that becomes very, very important, knowing the why. So setting up OKRs, the first thing is asking why are you doing it. Second, what do you want to measure exactly? What actually matters to the business, right? Not things that are like very superficial. So say if I today at a 50-member team, I go ahead and say that employee grievance redressal. This has to be over 80%. That rate has to be over 80%, right? Now, 50 people, how many grievances would you have? Is that even a significant point to be taken? Had it been a 500-member company, big thing. Grievance has to be taken care of. But whereas in a 50-member company, the more better thing would be, are you having those dialogues? Are you having that feedback mechanism? So you kind of work on your OKRs in a manner that suits your business. And second biggest problem with, HR folks would kill me, but it is what it is. The biggest problem is that we provide HR solutions to HR problems. We don't provide HR solutions to business problems. That's the biggest thing why business never listens to you. And HR's always crib that business doesn't listen. They'll listen to you the day you start speaking in their language, right? So when I go with anything that I want to do, I don't speak of employee morale, this, that, no. How employee morale? I'm speaking of employee morale, but that's the undertone. I'm speaking of how that will help their business and how the productivity will go up and how in terms of numbers and revenue that will affect. So the moment you put it that way and it's a measurable thing, they don't have they don't have an option to say no. The only answer you'll get is yes. So I think that way it becomes very, very important, and that thing cascades. So the moment you put numbers to everything, that will cascade over. So I think what matters and what can be measured is very, very important. Subjective things also can be measured. Instances, discussions, dialogues a lot of people say you can't measure commitment or say ownership. I can give 10 instances and measure ownership. It's as simple as that. And it shouldn't be biased. It shouldn't be that manager ne bol diya, hey, this is what it is. There's no discussion. You put in that dialogue forward, speak to the team member, and I don't think I've 99% of the cases, people have never argued. They might have put forward that, okay, maybe the perspective was different and that's why I lagged in this, but I'll work on this next time. That's the max that people do. Otherwise, it's always agreeable because the manager would not randomly say anything, right? So I think those instances become a very big, important factor. And similarly, I ask the people also, the employees also can always come up and share instances. The moment you support your point with instances, the ability to, counter it from the other end just gets very less. So you have already won that like half of the battle. So you don't really need to, work on it much. So I think that is very important. So what matters? Why are you measuring what you're measuring? And yes, it has to be clearly measurable. It can't be haywire that, okay, it's very subjective, there's no objectivity. Then you're just giving scope for unnecessary discussions and, people being not being satisfied and coming up with their own theories, biases, and politics. All of these things come into picture the moment you put a lot of subjectivity in your performance.